What's up, everybody? It's Rahul from the Chaos Room, and with me today I have Kenny Britton. Hey, Kenny, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know Kenny, he just took down the Anaheim Regional Championships with Darkrai Dragons. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Kenny.
I've been a multiple Worlds competitor. I've been playing for a while, and I've never been able to get a big win, but I finally took down one this time.
Congratulations again. So,
Thank you.
talk to us a little bit about why you chose Darkrai Dragons as your deck.
Well, like I was really excited for Sun and Moon, like most people were, and I just couldn't get anything to work for either being they were just too inconsistent or they just had a problem with one of the most expected decks. And so eventually I decided that I came down to either wanting to play Vespiquen, which I wanted to play for like probably like 2 or 3 weeks, or just playing Dark. And um, I didn't actually make my decision until a last minute testing session at midnight because Mark hadn't tested at all, Mark Garcia. And so we had midnight and I started drawing hands with bees, Vespiquen, and I just started bricking with the deck. And so then uh, I I told our group that probably the safest choice would be to just play Darkrai. It should at least get us like top 64 or better and secure like the 250 and some championship points. And so like we all agree. And then like I remember like last minute that I had actually sleeved like 58 cards of the Darkrai Dragons deck that we had just randomly talked about like over like maybe the past like 4 weeks, but we never actually tested it. And so I just decided to play like 2 or 3 matches, and I think this was like 3 a.m. at this point, and I played like 2 or 3 matches with that deck, and I actually ended up losing both series, but I just saw the potential, and maybe like I could be able to just catch people by surprise. And so I decided to just take the gamble and play the deck choice. I told them I'm just going to go with Darkrai Dragons, and I'm just going to go to sleep. And I tell Mark Garcia to decide on my 60th card and let me know in the morning what it'd be. And that was between a second Oblivion Wing and I think Kukui. I don't remember. It was one of those. And he ended up making the choice of the second Evital. And then they all decided to just go with straight Darkrai. They played it safe, and I took the gamble. I took the risk. So that was my deck choice, which I contribute this win a lot to being just like probably like the perfect meta call. Like no one was expecting it, and I just had a ton of great matchups, and that helped me take this down.
Yeah, Darkrai Dragons was definitely one of the decks that has fallen out of favor since Guardy and
Yeah.
random stuff has been geared to beat it, but it was definitely a very good call for this tournament.
Yeah.
So looking at your list, there's like a couple of card choices that are a little, I guess, unorthodox. Talk to us about 3 Escape Rope, no Floatstone.
Okay, so I know most Darkrai lists are playing like kind of like 5 switch effects, and I felt like 4 was just enough. And I really wanted to play 3 Escape Rope because I thought it was probably the best counter to Tauros is just you just go around it. And Bursting Moon was also another popular card in Sun and Moon decks, like Waterbox would play it and stuff. And that was another way of just going around the balloon and not having to hit it, and then your Darkrai gets knocked out. So I really valued 3 Escape Rope. Like I wanted to play 3 Escape Rope no matter what. I'm not really a fan of the whole one switch idea. I just don't like having to depend on just drawing it at the right time if I don't have a way to search for it or get it from my discard pile. So that's why I really like the Olympia, because my VS Seekers become switch effects, and it allows me, like, if they try to stall a dragon, which has bigger tree, I can just play Olympia. And also, by not playing Floatstone, it allows me to be able to Fury Belt something. Like, if something got stalled, and I had it forced me to Floatstone it, I wouldn't be able to belt it or EXP share it. But with Olympia, I can just Olympia retreat and be able to attach a belt or EXP share later. And so yeah, Olympia allowed me to have more options, and I just preferred that over the one Floatstone. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, other than that, your list looks pretty normal. I like it a lot. The double Tina, pretty good golf. Um, so, I'll let you just, I guess, jump into your report.
Alright, okay. So round 1, I played against Mewtwo Garb with 1 Tauros. both games are different. Game one, I was able to just go dragon strategy, so I was able to overwhelm him with either Giratina or with Salamence, and he just couldn't really handle it. And I dealt with the Garbodor. So I won game one, and then game two, he has a slow start. He isn't able to get like a big Mewtwo going, and I'm able to just overwhelm him with just Darkrai. Like I just became a Darkrai deck and just pulsed him, and so I take that down. Round two, I play against Alex Hill, and I had no idea what he was playing at the time. Like I was just expecting a tough match, and it turns out he's playing Vespiquen, which is like my lucky day. So game one, I get a fast Chaos Wheel. I don't remember if it was turn one or turn two, but I got it really fast, and he just can't do anything about it. He tries to stall me with Lysander, which like almost every Vespiquen player did during the tournament, but every time I just have the Olympia because they can't and Lysander. So it's just like, Lysander, and then I'm like, okay, Olympia, or my 3 ropes, and I just Chaos Wheel and Chaos Wheel. So he scoops game one, and then game two, he bricks, and I open Giratina, and he goes like pass turn one. I attach Double Dragon, pause for a turn. I think he like letters and barrel letters, and he can't get anything, and I attach Double Dragon, and then he just scoops. So it was a pretty easy match against a really great player. So that was great for me. Round three, I take my my only loss of the tournament, which was the Volcanion, and one of the cards I didn't play was Hex Maniac, which was another gamble I took. I didn't feel like I felt like it was only effective for one matchup since Greninja is pretty much dead in this format, and so I just cut it, and it backfired in this match a lot because he just pretty much just overwhelmed me completely, and I think I missed almost all of my elixirs, and he just did Volcanion stuff, and I couldn't keep up at all, and I didn't have a Hex Maniac to stop him, and I just get completely demolished. And then this is actually the same guy that ended up dropping day 2 for his flight, letting Sam Chen make top 32, so that was kind of funny. Yeah, my one loss, and yeah, so that was round 3. Round 4, I played against Rainbow Road, which was actually a pretty hard matchup, but I actually experimented with Rainbow Road a little bit. Like I spent like a day trying it out, and the biggest flaw with the deck I always found is it's really hard to stream attackers with it. So I just focused on just knocking out his attackers each and every turn and putting pressure on them. So eventually he just couldn't respawn, and he'd have to bench a Xerneas and attach energy and pass. And then I would Lysander it, knock it out. And like I was even attacking with Salamence in the matchup, even though it's weak to Fairy. But the pressure was just too much for him, and I'm able to 2-0 him. Round 5, I play against Mega Ray, and like all these matchups, it was like my first time playing the matchups. So my first Mega Ray ever with the deck. So I was testing it out pretty much. So I just assumed my game plan was just to go with Giratina, and he took a quick 4 prizes, and I just waited until I drew my I went Perilous City and Chaos Wheel, and he just can't come back from that. And then I do the same thing in game 2, and then I would just end up using this strategy for the rest of the tournament as well. So I 2-0 Mega Ray. And then round 6, I play against another Volcanion, so I was like extremely worried, but I got pretty lucky that he played the Perilous City version. My round 3 opponent played Skyfields. So this round 6, he played Perilous Cities, and I played Perilous City. So both game 1 and game 2, I was able to get a turn 1 Perilous City on him, and I was able to just control the board. I was just able to control him and not prevent him from getting 1-shots on me. So we were both 2-shotting each other, and eventually Darkrai just overpowers that, and I was able to 2-0 him, which was pretty nice against a tough matchup. Round 7, I play against Pablo playing Mega Mewtwo. His list actually caught me by surprise because I didn't know that the Mega Mewtwo's were playing the 1-1 Espeon, which is actually a pretty decent Giratina counter. So game 1 this series was really interesting, and I'm probably gonna mess things up a bit, but I'll try my best. Uh, Game one, I have 2 Dark Rays in play with energies, and then 2 Tinas, and that's it. And he gets like his 1 Trubbish down, and he gets like 5 energies on a Mewtwo. And my first Darkrai knocks out a Trubbish, and then his Mewtwo knocks out my Darkrai. And on the turn that his Mewtwo knocks out my Darkrai, he benches an Eevee, and he Sycamores, trying to hit the Psychic to evolve into Espeon. And this also showed me that one of his Ultra Balls also showed me that he prized his second Trubbish, because he just decided to get a Mega Mewtwo instead. So it was pretty fortunate he prized 1 Trubbish. So all he had was this 1 Eevee, and he benches the Eevee, he Sycamores, and he tries to hit the Psychic, but he misses, so he can't just evolve into Espeon. And he just attaches the DCE to it, and he knocks out my Darkrai. And so my second Darkrai, I'm able to Lysander the Eevee and knock it out, and so now he has counter to Giratina. And so he knocks out my Darkrai with Mewtwo, and all I have left are just 2 Giratinas. And so he does the whole like stall thing, and try to Lysander my bench one, and then Olympia it. And then he tries, I think he gets his Trubbish off the prizes, and he tries to Acid Spray me because he can't play Float Stump anymore because I'm Chaos Wheeling him. And he flips Tail on Acid Sprayer, and I take game 1. Game 2, he has a very slow start. Like I think, and I have a pretty fast one. I take 4 prizes like really like pretty quickly, and then he gets an Espeon going that he had to attach 3 Psychics to because of Chaos Wheel.
Yeah.
And he tries to confuse me, but I have the Olympia, and yeah, he can't Psychic me because of the Fury Belt, and it was pretty long. There was a lot of stalling, like Lysander and Acid Spray and stuff, and I'm able to just pull that one out too. So I 2-0 Pablo, and it was a pretty intense series. So round 8, I play against Connor playing Vespiquen. He offers to ID me, but I know it's the matchup, so I don't take it. And round 1, or game 1, I get a turn 2 Chaos Wheel, and he tries to stall me, and I'm just able to have like the switch effect or whatever, and I just Chaos Wheel or Lysander his energy, and he can't do anything from there, so he scoops. Game 2, he gets to go first, which is actually a pretty big deal, because this matchup isn't auto win, it's probably like 70-30, like they definitely have a chance. And so he goes first, and he gets turn 2, double Vespiquen, double DCE, and I'm able to get my Tina going, but those 2 Vespiquens are able to knock out my 1 Tina. And when he gets the knockout on the Tina, I still don't have the double dragon on my Tina, and I spent like probably like 3 turns of draw just trying to get the second double dragon for it, and I'm not able to get it, and he's able to just Lysander and knock it out. But the thing about this matchup is the game's not over from there. Like, you can knock out the 2 Tinas, but you still have to deal with like Evital's and Darkrai's, and he had to like use a lot of resources. So I'm able to kill his final Vespiquen with my Evital, and he has 1 card in deck, and I think I actually just win here because I just knocked out his only Vespiquen in play. And he draws his final card, and he goes, Force of Giants Plants, Revitalizer, DCE, Be Revenge for knockout, and takes his final prizes. And I was kind of shocked there. I was like, wow, like I didn't see that coming. And so after that game, he offers the ID, and I say no, and because I'm gonna go first, it's a good matchup, and I want to get my wins in day 1 instead of day 2. And so we play game 3. And game 3, I have like a fantastic turn 1. I think I get like 3 energies in play on 2 different Tinas, and I fill my entire board, and I set up for 6, and the 6 cards I draw are just like completely unplayable. Like they're like PCL, Lysander, they're just really bad cards, and I'm pretty much drawing dead. And he's able to just get like 3 DCEs and 2 Vespiquens in play, just got a bunch of Pokemon, and all I can do is try to Lysander a Shaman and just try to stall the game because I just don't have anything. And so when he attaches his 3rd DCE, he looks at me and he's like, "Do you want ID, and I was like, yeah, I'll ID.
Yeah, sounds good.
I got like extremely fortunate there. I guess he might have been worried that I had like an enhanced hammer or something to make a comeback in that game. But yeah, so I end up tying a Vespa in round 8. So round 9, I just decided to ID who would be my round 10 opponent. So in round 10, I play against Mega Ray, and it was just like the previous Mega Ray. Oh yeah, both players didn't run Drachi, so they didn't have a counter for Tina. Yeah, and so I get the same playoff. I just go down like 3 or 4 prizes, and then I get my N, Parallel, and Chaos Wheel, and that was just both of those games. It was just pretty simple matchup. So then round 11, I get another Mega Ray, this time with Drachi. So that was pretty scary, a little bit more interesting. He gets game 1. He gets a really fast game 1. He gets a really fast start, and he takes quick prizes, but he's like forced in a position of do you bench the Drachi and then let it get Lysandered, or do you try to draw it off N? And like I think I was like ending him to like 3 and then ending him to like 2. So eventually he just decides to bench it. Of the other games where I just end Parallel City, Chaos Wheel, and you just control the game from there.
Yeah.
And he isn't able to do anything. And then game 2, he actually just opens a Mega Ray hand and just puzzle pass. Yeah, and I take game 2 of that. So round 12, I play against Finnegan Lynch playing Vespa, and game 1, it was pretty like similar to most Vespa games. Like I think he was able to get 2 DCs in play, and I was able to get a Giratina, and I'm trying to remember. I think he trades into them, and I think I got a turn ahead of him on attachments, and I'm able to just get rid of his DCs and Vespa, and then he forces me to have a second Tina, which I have, and I win game 1. Game 2, he goes first, and he actually gets a way stronger start, and he's able to get 2 DCs in play, and he can actually get like a turn 2 knockout on me. But he was searching for Rattata, and because I had a Belted Tina active,
Okay.
and he Ultra Balls for Herdier, and he Herdiers for Buddy because he discarded his Rattata, and he goes to play the Rattata down, but he actually can't because I Parallel City'd him and he has no bench. So he actually has to wait for that play, and so I think he retreats and to Herdier and passes, and then I have a Lysander on one of his Vespaquins to knock it out. So all he has is one Vespaquin left. So he promotes it, and I think I don't remember, but he tries to hit the knockout, and he like digs through his deck to get enough Pokemon. And he actually ends up whipping with like 4 cards in his deck, and it was like a pretty gross knockout, or pretty gross whiff. And I'm able to kind of get lucky on that one, because if he got the knockout there, I actually had no response. That was my only Tina in play. I wasn't able to build up a second one, and whiff with like 4 cards in deck, and I pull out that win, and I was pretty lucky on there. So round 13, I was hoping to ID this round to make top 8, but I get down paired to my good friend Drew Kennett, and he's playing the Solgaleo Lorantis.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, which I knew was a pretty tough matchup, and my game plan was like, I just hope he bricks, and just go from there, kill like 1 Cosmog at a time or something. So game 1, like I even tell him, I was like, I just hope that you brick. That's just my. And so game 1, he goes like double level ball, opens Cosmog. He gets 3 Cosmogs in play. He goes Ultra Ball, and he like sets up for like 6 or something, and he goes pass and he doesn't play a single supporter. So I see my opportunity. I'm like, okay, maybe he did brick turn 1. So I think I just go like attach to Darkrai. Don't even play my N, and I go pass, and then he goes pass, and then he doesn't ever draw out of it, and eventually I'm just like killing Cosmogs, and he draws like Pokemon instead of supporters, and eventually I just take 6 prizes. But that took a good amount of time, and so then game 2, he goes first, and I mulligan like 2 or 3 times. So his turn 2 is actually double Solgaleo, and he gets turn 2 Solburst GX, energy to play. Like his board's amazing, and like there's pretty much no way I can win this game. But I play it out for time because I'm actually still playing for the tie here because a tie is actually worth it for me. So we play out the full game, and so that ends up being like, I'd probably say like 40 or 45 minutes completing the first 2 games. I just get completely destroyed. It's a horrible matchup. You can't even one-shot them, and then they don't ever run out of energy because of Lurantis. It's pretty bad. Like I tried to be able to one-shot it with even double dragon energies, but you just can't do 250. It's so tough, and so like he just eventually wins. So game 3, he gets another strong start, and I don't remember my start, but it was pretty intimidating, and he gets his turn 2 Soul Burst GX. Turn 3 he gets knockout on a EX. Turn 4 he gets knockout on EX, and then on turn 5 time is actually called, and he actually only has like 1 energy in play, and he can't actually take the final 2 prizes with his Pokemon because he just doesn't have enough energy in play because it was too early in the game for him to finish it. So we actually end up tying, which is to my benefit, and pretty fortunate for me. So the last round, I ID Lawrence, who is playing Turbo Dark. So then top 8, I play against you, Vespa Clan, and the game 1 was like really weird. Like it was awkward. Game 1, I completely brick. My hand was double Evital, energies, EXP shares, max elixir. Like it was nothing, and that actually it kind of helped me because it like forced you to not like refresh my hand, and you had to dig, and you had just a really awkward start. Like you had to put like 3 shamans in play. You had to discard Bs. You had to discard DCEs and special charges just to go through your deck and capitalize on my bad start. And yeah, so it ended up working to my benefit because by the time you're able to put pressure on me, I was able to draw out of it, and you just didn't have enough resources left, whether it be the Vespacoin or the DCs or whatever. And I'm able to win that game because of your pretty awkward start. And so then game 2, I think I get like a good Chaos Wheel against you, and you put down the Mew EX, and you get a DC on a Vespacoin and a Mew, and when the time that you bench the Mew, like I just thought to myself like, oh, that's not gonna matter, like whatever. But then you attach DC to it, and I'm like, wait, that does matter, and because Mew has 120 HP, which means I have to 2-shot it. So I have to 2-shot a Mew to get rid of 1 DC and knock out a Vespacoin to get rid of the other DC, because I don't play Hammer or any removal. Right. So I actually have to get knockouts on them. So I think I'm able to get a Lysander on you first to get rid of 1 of your DCs.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you trade in the first Tina, but I have the second Tina because I had the 4th Double Dragon or whatever.
My game plan there was 2, I think. You had 3 Double Dragons gone, so I was like, let me pull up 1 Tina and hope he doesn't have it.
Yeah, I actually didn't even realize it at the time because I just had it in my hand, so I didn't even count the outs, like it was there. So yeah, beat another Vespacoin. So top 4, I play against actually my first dark deck of the entire tournament, which was kind of crazy.
Shocking, actually.
Yeah. So it was a straight Darkrai. and he played one Tauros. But with no Ninja Boy. But he did have Enhanced Hammer, so I was a little worried about that. Game 1, he opens Hoopa, and he has to set up twice, and he doesn't hit a supporter, and I actually get a turn 1 Salamence escape, knock out a Shaman on his bench, and then so I end up getting up 4 prizes by turn 2, and then Salamence just ends up taking 6 prizes by turn 5 or something, and it just completely sweeps him. Game 2, he gets one of those Turbo Dark hands where they just go off. I think he hits 3 elixirs turn 1, attachment for turn, and then turn 2 he had 6 energy in play with a belt, and then he was putting pressure on me. I just couldn't keep up at all. It was completely one-sided, and I could never catch up to him on attachments. So I got forced in the situation to try to end and hope he doesn't draw off it. But he ends up getting the Lysander, and he takes game 2. Game 3, I get another early Salamence, and he gets, and he opts to go early Tauros, and which I was fine with. So I escape roped, I think, and Salamence got a knockout going around Tauros, and he just hit my Salamence with his Tauros, and then I switched into Oblivion Wing, and because of my prize lead, I was able to just reestablish my board and catch up on energies, and all he had was a Tauros trying to whack me for 70 damage, and that just wasn't enough. It didn't put enough pressure on me, and so I was able to just build up my board enough with my prize lead and secure game 3, and so then I move on to the finals. Finals was another straight Darkrai. Game 1, my opponent Tony, he approaches the matchup correctly. He just fully commits to Oblivion Wing, and so we were both just Oblivion Wing each other the entire for 5 or 6 turns. We're just Oblivion Wing, Oblivion Wing, Oblivion Wing, and I think. Oh yeah, I remember the disadvantage I had in this game though, even though we were both doing Oblivion Wing to each other, was he went first and he was able to stick his 1 Perilous City in play, and I don't have any counters to that play. I gambled on that as well. I just pretty much 50% of the time you're going, you get to go first in the game, so just try to get your parallel out instead of having to draw your 1 outer counter stadium. And so I just accepted that, and it was another just space issue. So he gets the turn 1 parallel, and he's able to Oblivion Wing, and I Oblivion Wing, but he's doing stuff better, and I'm not able to build enough stuff to just deal with his threats because I only have 3 bench. And he just completely dominates me. And so game 1, it felt pretty, while we're shuffling up for game 2, it felt pretty bad because I was maybe this is kind of a difficult matchup. But then I remembered, okay, I got kind of unlucky that he got his 1 parallel against me going first, and maybe we can turn this around game 2. So game 2, he decided, I'm able to parallel him, and I'm able to get a Salamence going, and I don't think he's able to play around it, because Salamence, pretty much, you either play into, you either let me get knockouts, or you make your deck less consistent, less efficient, and just play 1 at a time. And so he goes the route of just trying to set up and get energies in play, get his Oblivion Wing strategy going. And so this game, so Salamence allows me to get another huge prize lead. I think I get up 3 prizes again, and he's settling with just Oblivion Winging. And then at the point that I got the 3 prize lead, I decided to just Oblivion Wing. So I Oblivion Wing to accept board, and towards the end of this game, I actually get a Salamence that has 3 double dragons, a dark energy, a fury belt, just sitting on my bench. And, yeah, because I'm just chilling, just Oblivion Winging, and my board is just overwhelming for him, and he can't do anything about it. So I take game 2. Game 3, he gets to go first, and he completely goes ham to get the turn 1 parallel, and which he does. I think he even Ultra Balls, he's able to discard like 4 dark energies turn 1. He sets up twice. He gets the turn 1 parallel on me, and this is just like a really rough spot. And like from that point on in the game, he's able to attach an Oblivion Wing and Elixir, and he just gets so much energy in play. Like it's overwhelming. I actually didn't know what I could do from that point, and my hand was actually like extremely slow. Like every turn felt like attach energy and attach energy, and like I wasn't even taking elixirs, and then I would Oblivion Wing, and I wouldn't even have dark energies in the discard. So I was pretty much attaching like 1 energy at a turn, and Oblivion Winging his Evital for just 30, and so he just gets so much pressure on me, and then he starts taking knockouts. And he gets a Lysander on my Darkrai on the bench, and I don't have EXP shares either, and I only have I think 4 or 5 energy in play. Like I don't even have a legitimate response to him. And so he takes his first 2 prizes on Darkrai. I think he gets another Lysander on a Darkrai. And he gets another Lysander on Darkrai, and he gets down to 2 prizes. And I have 6. And it was at this point I realized like my only way I could win is to somehow hope that I could deck him, and because there was no way I was going to actually win a legitimate game, because he has almost all of his energy in play.
Right.
And the previous turn he actually attached a dark to an Oblivion Wing with 1 energy, and he max elixired it, so he had 3 energies on an Evital, and he had another Evital which he attached an EXP share to, but it had no energies in play. So I see my play, and I draw for turn, and I go Lysander, Evital, and I go pass. And he draws for turn, and he goes pass. And then I draw pass. And we just keep going saying draw pass for pretty much like 10 turns. And he draws his final card, and I don't know if it was switch, or I think he was waiting to end me. So he draws his final card, and he plays switch, and he ends me. But he's ending me to 6, and his plan was to end me, hoping that I don't draw the Lysander to stall his Evital, because it was his last switch out, and he had no energy left, and it was just his last switch effect. So he goes switch end, and he knocks out my Oblivion Wing, and he goes on 1 prize, and off my 6. And the draw for the turn, I get the VS Seeker, the Evital, and essentially deck him out, and he just concedes from there. And then
that's how you win regionals without taking a single prize.
Yeah, deck out was crazy, it was unreal. I can't believe that happened, and definitely one of the best ways to win a tournament via deck out.
So that's a huge congratulations again.
Thank you.
If you could go back and change any cards in your list, would you?
Yeah, I would cut the Pokemon Center lady, because like I said, I didn't play against a dark deck until top 4, and I was expecting to play against Evital, and it's a Pokemon Center lady is probably the best counter towards Fright Night, because of the 60 damage. It allows you to heal the 60 off, and keep your energies in play, and not get played around, not let your EXP shares or your energy get played around. But yeah, I just didn't play against any Evital, so Pokemon Center Lady was pretty much useless the entire tournament. So that would be the main card I'd cut, and I'd probably add either Hex Maniac or Silent Lab or Enhance Hammer removal as a replacement.
Alright, thank you so much for being here with us. Do you have any shout-outs, final call-outs, whatever you want to do?
Give a shout-out to MTG Deals. They give really great prices. They're a local SoCal shop. They buy, sell cards in bulk. I want to give a shout out to my testing circle, the Deals team, John Pham, Chris Wynn, Oscar Morales, Ruben Siska, Chris Silver, Mark and his brothers, the Sosas. They just really help, and I'm really lucky to have them nearby, so I can just play test in person. And then final shout out I'd give is to Someone's PC. I really like the direction they're going in, and I recommend them as probably one of the best contents if you're interested in that and you haven't checked them out yet. Um, I really like the direction they're going in. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much for being here. And where can everyone find you next for tournament wise?
I'll be going to St. Louis,
Okay.
and I'll probably be going to most of the West Coast regionals. And I don't know, my plans are still open, so we'll see.
All right, peace out, dude.
All right, thanks.